why is God a man? Where's the evidence of this?
Well, God isn't a man. See, within historical Christianity, we don't believe that God has a gender. However, the way that he has decided to reveal himself is through the masculine plural, and then ultimately by becoming a human in the person of Jesus Christ. So we don't believe that God has a gender. In fact, the fact that God creates humanity in his image and he creates them male and female, those are two aspects of the image of God. And so that's the completeness. So historical Christianity has never argued that God is gendered. Jesus is gendered in the sense that during the incarnation, he becomes a human man, but he's still fully man and fully God. But God is spirit. And right, as the scripture says, we worship him in spirit and in truth.
And God is the
But
same.
nobody's arguing that. What's that? Sorry.
God
That
is
always blows my mind
God is
too.
the same all the time, right? He's always good. It's always God is all the same all the time, right? Is
Yeah,
that
but we do see that the in Scripture, God has revealed Himself through the masculine plural, and there are aspects of
that's
God's character
convenient?
that we see within Scripture that do actually communicate. Jesus says that He longs to gather Israel like a mother hen collects her chicks. So we see aspects of the feminine of God, not meaning that God is feminine, but that the image of God reflects both the masculine and the feminine, and that's why when the two become one flesh, there's a uniting of that reflects the image of God as well
Do you
within
believe
the
that the
the
majority of
covenant of
Christians
marriage.
do you actually believe that the majority of Christians really believe that God is not masculine, that God is has both aspects? If you
I
ask
mean, it's
ten
irrelevant what the
people, if you
majority
ask
of
10
Christians
people on the
believe.
road, how many would
Yeah.
tell you, that God's not a man? They've never been taught this.
Well, I was taught it growing up. I was taught it in when I was a child, when I went to seminary, when I went to Bible college. I was taught it in graduate school. I would say I would say a few things to that. I would say in one sense it's irrelevant what the majority of Christians believe, because what historical biblical Christianity articulates is what they should believe. There are Christians who run around saying all sorts of things that are not in conformity to biblical, historical, Orthodox Christianity,
You're
and
absolutely
they shouldn't believe that because it's irrelevant. And so if one Christian believes something that is not in line with biblical Christianity, I mean, that's on them. So God is not gendered, but he does express through inspired scripture the masculine plural, sorry, not plural, the masculine uh, um, pronoun.